This video goes over the syllabus for Sociology 4440 Technology and Society. There's a lot of critical information just right up at the top of the syllabus. Here's where you get the who, what, where, when, why, and how of this course. You'll get my basic contact information, how you get a hold of me, my office hours, when it's easiest to get a hold of me, the basic course information, and of course my course objectives. I encourage you to go through the course description. It gives you a sense of who I am and what this class is about. Okay, so now I'm going to run through the syllabus with you guys so that you have all of the important information. So as I mentioned before, we're going to start out here with the course description, right? The point of this course is to apply a critical sociological analytic lens to the relationship we have with technology. And as I'm sure, or I hope you guys know, this class does count as a D4 synthesis class, or it could be a course used for those within the sociology major. If you have some questions about this, I encourage you to see your advisor. And if you're having trouble connecting with your advisor, I'm happy to connect with you to assist you with this. I always like to point out to people that I don't see technology as good or bad. Technology is developed within systems, and how we choose to use technology, how we choose to develop it or disseminate it, that's up to us. What we need to talk about is how we do this in ways that are more mindful and that prioritize quality of life. And so you can go ahead and read through in detail what I'm saying here. But I want to highlight the course objective. I know they ask that course objectives be measurable, but as you get into this course and you read the Ritzer, I hope you're going to understand why I see my course objective actually as being creating people who can do praxis. Praxis is action informed by theory, or as Paulo Freire describes it, thought made real through social action. Creating people who are prepared to do praxis toward a more socially just system is my course objective. How does this class work? I'm going to post your weeks 1 week at a time, and that means that all your content will be posted, and ideally I will have weeks up ahead of time, but I'm making some changes to the class, and that always means it can take a little longer. You are expected to do each week a set of reading assignments and engagement with content. It might be videos that I've created. It might be videos that I would have shown you as a class. Your job is to set aside enough time to watch the videos and to complete all of the course readings. How you demonstrate to me that you're staying engaged is in a number of different ways. One is through a packback discussion board that's linked to your assignments through the class. And another is through engaging in writing assignments for 10 of those weeks, which I post a writing assignment for each week, and it's your choice which 10 you want to participate in. There's no penalties for not participating in certain weeks. It's just important that you have some choice so that we don't have to worry about a few late assignments here or there. That can be your week off. You're also going to take 3 exams where I drop the lowest grade. So don't worry, if you end up missing one of these exams, no big deal. That becomes your dropped grade. And a lot of people ask me at the end, if I'm happy with my scores on the first 2 exams, do I even need to take the third one? As long as you've kept up with your packback ask to, answer to, and your writing assignments, no, you're good to go. Due dates and more information are contained in the syllabus and will be popping up on Canvas. I do always also include a content warning. Sociology covers many topics that are painful and disturbing, and unfortunately, that's the nature of the social world. I always like to highlight that I do not want something that is too difficult for you personally because of your personal traumas or pains that are fresh or raw. I don't want those to be ignored or minimized. I would be doing a disservice to my profession if I attempted to sanitize my discipline or my field, but I also want to give you space to know that I want you to protect your mental health, and we can always work something out. Additionally, I like to make sure everyone is aware that with changes to Title IX, there are certain things that if you choose to disclose them to me, I am obligated as to report these things. It is mandatory that I report those. Please be aware of if you are disclosing sexual abuse or sexual abuse involving minors. I don't have the option of respecting whether you want me to report this or not. I am obligated to report it. And I want you to go through the syllabus and read all of this very carefully to make sure you understand. I also like to emphasize that I support a family-friendly classroom. I understand that the health, safety, and well-being of you and your family absolutely supersede immediate classroom requirements. I'm happy to work with you to ensure your success. There are 2 textbooks for this class, or assigned readings. They are available through our instant access program. If you prefer hard copies, they're also available at the library. It's Volti and Croissant's Society and Technological Change, the 2024 edition. There was a fairly large gap in the update to this book, so I'd really encourage you to use the most recent edition. And Ritzer's The McDonaldization of Society into the Digital Age. Older editions of this one might be acceptable. They might not have as much of the focus on the digital content, but in terms of the theory and the understanding of the theory, that would absolutely be relevant. There's also a few additional readings that I will post through Canvas. Of course, we have to have our AI usage. And as you see, I actually have an assignment that involves AI. And so effectively what I'm asking you to say is I'm asking you not to use AI to construct your writing assignments. As you'll see, there is one assignment that requires you to use AI, and we'll get to that in a moment. But I just really want to make it clear that I am not asking you to summarize or discuss readings because I want 115, I'm outside, I like it outside, 115 summaries of the exact same course material. I get those every semester. The point is for you to develop your critical thinking skills, and people do that through this process of writing. It's actually through the process of how to articulate your thoughts that you actually grow and learn. I'm not expecting a perfect product. This is more about you engaging with the content. I'm really not taking off a lot of points for clarity or grammar or spelling. I mean, I need to be able to understand what you're writing. My focus here is on you really thinking about all of the things you're taking in and trying to make sense of them in a changing world. That's what I'm really looking for. Your engagement, your engrossment, I guess, in the readings. So as I mentioned, you'll have every week I do post an assignment. You need to complete 10 of these. Most weeks you have a choice of which reading prompt you want to write to. People often get confused because in the first week only, I have some questions that I'm asking you to answer all the questions. And in subsequent weeks, I'm asking you to pick a prompt and write. If there's something that you've completely become entranced with in that week's readings, you can go ahead and free write a response and just let me know that you're doing that. The most important thing about these 10 out of 15 assignments you complete is that you explicitly cite assigned course content at least 3 times, making sure to cite the author and year. And if it's a specific chapter in the book, let me know which chapter as well. If you're citing a film, you would just tell me which film you're citing. But I really need this to be explicit in parentheses in your assignment. That is the most important part. I am not grading these with AI, by the way. It's either me or the TA that's grading them in person. But in order to receive full credit, I really need those 3 citations there. And I really like giving people full credit for these assignments. I'm telling you up front, follow the basics of this assignment. And even if I don't agree with you, even if I think you've misinterpreted the readings, I'm generally going to give you all the points. I might tell you, hey, I think you misunderstood this, but it's about you engaging and showing me that you're genuinely committed to trying to understand the readings. Now, your big course project is the Me versus Generative AI project. This is your longer course paper. And for this, your assignment is to pick anything we cover in this class and to write about it with a sociological or social science thesis for 8 to 10 pages. It should be some sort of technological conundrum. And you can see here in the syllabus, I give you a number of different suggestions for how people do this. I like to see you apply a social theory or use social theories we discuss as part of the analysis. A lot of students like to apply Ritzer's theories of McDonaldization in various ways to things like technology in the workplace, technology in education, technology and consumerism, but you can certainly use anything in Volte as well. Lots of students like to talk about the dissemination of new technologies. There isn't a right thesis. The point is to have a thesis and to have at least 8 academic citations in your paper. You absolutely can have more. That's fantastic. You can have as many non-academic citations as you want. By non-academic, I mean maybe from newspapers or from websites that aren't research-based, right? And I talk about here, like academic citations would be from books or peer-reviewed journals or reports from research clearinghouses, a doctoral dissertation. It's something that's research oriented and has some sort of peer review involved with it. That's one of the main requirement there. But here's the catch. What you're going to do after that is I want you to give your paper parameters, and that would be 8 to 10 pages, your thesis, double space, 10 to 12 point font. Give all that to ChatGPT and take a look at what the ChatGPT generated version of your paper looks like. And then you're going to turn that into me along with a 1 to 2. It could be 3 pages. If you want to write a little more, I'm fine with that. I've had some really great responses from students that I've really enjoyed reading. And tell me how you compare and contrast what you did versus what ChatGPT did. And I'm really hoping, oh, that's my dogs, that you'll see some value, you'll see some value in what you're doing here when you're not using ChatGPT. I hope also I just have here some information about where within your syllabus where you can find assistance with our library at coming up with academic sources. And in addition, I have a YouTube video here that helps you write a thesis statement. For those of you who are like, oh no, I've never had to construct an original thesis statement. I don't know how you got out of our English classes, but for those of you who are worried about that piece of it, I do have a video linked here through the syllabus that can assist you with that. Finally, every week, 15 times, you've got an answer to assignment. And obviously, in the fall, when we start, in the middle of the week, I call that week 0. In the spring, I call the week before we start week 0. That's not when it's live. It's live starting the first full week by Wednesday at 11:59, and by Friday. Hey guys, and Zorro, I really need you to cut this out. I'm working on this. Thank you. And by Friday at 11:59 of each week, you're either asking 2 questions by Wednesday, you're asking 2 questions. By Friday, you're answering 2 questions on the PackBack site, which is linked through the Canvas page. If you have opted out of the instant access program, you may have to pay for the PackBack separately, and I apologize for that additional cost. When I'm using with the instant access system, it's generally included, and most students are doing that. If there is a significant financial challenge, I encourage you to reach out to me, and there are some grants available, but not a lot, unfortunately. All of your assignments are submitted through Canvas. Every now and then, I set everything by hand. Every now and then it's not set properly, just let me know, and I will of course extend the deadline for everybody. No problem there. I do accept late work. It's all of the assignments are in there. I'm giving you chances to drop things, so I'm hoping you don't have to turn in anything late, but it happens. Life happens. There's just a 10% grade penalty on late assignments, but hopefully if you're able to judiciously use your 10 out of 15, then that will hopefully be okay for you guys. I also am happy to accommodate any requests from the DRC, the Disability Resource Center. Um, this is an online async class, and the way I've set it up, for example, give you unlimited time for your quiz, and it's open book, open notes. So I generally don't need there. It's hard to figure out what would be an accommodation that you might need for this class, but if you do need one, I'm happy to provide it. Just reach out to me, or have the DRC reach out to me, and we can make sure you get whatever supports you need to be successful in my class. Every now and then I have to change things. I will post it on Canvas. It'll be posted as an announcement. I also will post extra credit opportunities as announcements. Please don't participate in academic dishonesty. I don't like reporting students. I don't want to have to report students. I'd rather you just reach out. If you have a challenge or you need an extension or you're really struggling with something, I'd rather please just reach out to me so we can work something out instead of you having to feel desperate enough to do something that could further jeopardize your academic career. Citations. The biggest thing I need here are citations. It is the number one way I am giving you points, is to see that you are engaging with the course content in a really meaningful way. You can use APA, you can use MLA, just pick one major citation format and make sure that you are telling me where you're getting your information from very explicitly. If it is an edited volume that you're using, make sure you cite the author of the article primarily, not the editor of the volume. If you're citing a direct quote, make sure to include the page numbers. Now, how do you earn your points? This class is out of 1,000 points. I try to make it easy for you to earn points. It's 10 points for each of the 15 weeks ask to, answer to. So it's 150 points total, 10 points. So it's, basically 2.5 points for each question, 2.5 points for each answer. That adds up to 10 points each week, 150 points. Easy points you're going to get, though. I mean, the Packback will tell you up front whether your questions or your answers are full credit or not. If they're not, you can redo them immediately for full credit. You also have to do 10 out of 15 weekly assignments. You want to submit those for 40 points each. Pretty standard there. So that's 550 points so far. And then 200 points for the term paper that I already discussed, and 50 points for the reflection. And then your final 200 points come from the 3 exams, 100 points each, with the lowest score dropped on each exam. As I already mentioned, the exams are open book, open note. I'm trying to hit that spot where even if you haven't learned it before, if you learned it at the exam, well, great, you learned it. But it's a lot easier if you have completed all of the assignments beforehand and are ready to go for the exam, just for yourself. And as I mentioned, I set it to give you quite a bit of time to finish it. And as I said, it's open book, open note. There are extra credit opportunities up to 30 points can be earned in a number of ways. You can do a SONA experiment and just let me know that you did that. And I think they have an automatic system as well where they can let me know. You get as many points as that's open to. You also can earn 5 points by attending any campus event and writing a 1 to 2 page summary of that event. So hopefully you'll take the opportunity to come to some of our amazing campus events. I will try to let people know when something's coming up that might be particularly good for this class or for a series that I'm supporting. And for you guys, please just let me know if there's an event that you think is worthy of promotion or that you're involved with. I'm happy to also put that in as an announcement for people to attend, or you can attend by Zoom. A lot of events are on Zoom now. Generally, assignments are due at 11:59 p.m. Just to standardize it, make it easy. So you can see exam 1, you're done by week 5. Exam 2 by the end of week 10. Exam 3 by the end of the finals week. The Chat GPT and Me assignments due the Friday of week 13. Your weekly responses are always due Friday at 11:59 p.m. and your ask tos Wednesday at 11:59. That way people have a chance to answer questions by Friday at 11:59 p.m. And then I have here, it's a very standard grade distribution, right? 930 points to 1,000 is in A, going all the way on down. And then I have here the topics and the readings for each week, but those will also be available to you on Canvas. You'll be able to have them posted for each week. And in addition to this will also be videos somewhat similar to this one, sometimes different from this one, for you guys to watch along with the course content. So yeah, so there it is. Sorry, I hope that didn't make you guys dizzy. I appreciate you coming here to take a look at this video, and I would appreciate it also if you could also just read through the syllabus, take a quick perusal, and make sure that you understand anything. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Someone has made it clear to me that sometimes students don't know what office hours are. This is mostly juniors and seniors, so people usually do by this point. But just in case you don't know, office hours are when I make myself available to you. I have office hours in person on Mondays before my 4 p.m. class, and on Tuesdays this semester. And if you're watching this video a different semester than the one I made it, I might have slightly different hours posted on my syllabus. I might use this video for more than one semester, but I usually do this one, redo this one regularly. Hope all is well, and I'm looking forward to having a great semester with you guys.